everybody. I am D&D Jordan Lee, and I'm joined by some amazing panelists over here on Gehenna Gaming's Virtual HorrorCon 2022. Woo!
Woo-woo!
So before we get started and I introduce you to these amazing people, I first want to say a massive thank you to our Oracle behind the scenes, Nobleman Nick, who is running production. Thank you so much for making us all look great on this screen. Oh man, I'm really loving the filter she put on me. It's great. So, hi everybody, I'm D&D Jordan Lee. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm gonna pop it over to April because it's my favorite thing to do, and I didn't
Yes,
get
it
to do
is.
this earlier. So, April, why don't you introduce yourself, your pronouns?
Hello, I am April. She, her. You can find me all over the internet as April Raygun. I do stuff and things on the internet with stuff and things and people like these people. And yeah,
That's great.
I'm
Beautiful
doing
job.
it. I did it.
You
I
did
did it.
You
I'm
did
so
it.
That was smooth, April.
That was smooth.
Congrats.
Amazing.
Like, I think I'm gonna fuck up because April's was so smooth.
It was so smooth. Speaking of which, Duval, why don't you
Hey, everybody.
introduce?
Sure, no problem. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Plicque, Duval Key Jacob on the internet. I use he/him pronouns. Dungeon Master for Duval and Dragons, and the recently wrapped Utility 5e, a Red Wall story, because I'm going to keep talking about it even though it's over because I really love it a lot. And a bunch of other shows that you may or may not know about. And really excited to be here. Thanks.
Amazing. And Prince, aka Dimples and Dice.
AKA the Moist Heat.
Boys, gang, gang.
Hello,
God
everyone.
damn it.
Yeah, I'm Doubles and Dice all around the internet. That is where you can find me doing stuff, things, TTRPG, variety streaming. I'll be around a lot this weekend, so just like look for me in places and follow me on Twitter or whatever, and I'm gonna pretend like I know stuff. Our pronouns are he, him.
Perfect. And because I've done this before. Hi everybody. I am D&D Jordan Lee. I am the DM for Ampistrano D&D, which is a homebrew campaign which just started. As well as I'm a Twitch variety stream and a charity streamer. So our community does a charity stream event 2 to 3 times a year for a TTRPG/video game weekend. So we're here because in some way, shape, or form, all of us do charity streams, whether we're organizing it, we're playing in it, we're DMing it, or we're watching these streams. So I think an important question to kind of ask, because we all have kind of different backgrounds when it comes to this, is why do you charity stream? For me, I'll jump on in first.
Okay, cool.
For
Jump on
me, I charity stream because I really love to signal boost specific causes. Finances, we all know, is whether we're in a panini press or not, can be incredibly difficult. But having a charity stream event where you are bringing the community together to signal boost an organization, not just during specific months, but all year round, is an amazing way to give back. And also just kind of refocus. I think it's a fun bonding experience, and whether you are able to, no matter the funds that you raise, you're getting that message and signal boosting that organization. So that's why I do it. But Duval, why do you do it?
I do it to hang out with you, Jordan. End of question and answer. Thank you. No, in all seriousness, it actually is kind of partially Jordan's fault because meeting Jordan Jordan was actually in the first game that I ever played in for a charity stream, which is pretty wild to think about. And here we are 3 years later talking about stuff. And I think what it comes down to is just causes that I personally that's something that affects me as a marginalized individual, or like just having empathy for the people around me. And then, that money going to a cause that's something that I personally care about is awesome. And then on top of that, we get to do shenanigans and ridiculous stuff with new and old friends. I mean, doesn't get much better than that.
Amazing.
I mean, I'll echo the stuff that y'all said, but I'll also toss in something that is somewhat selfish. I like getting to know new people and meet, like, I've met a bunch of really dope people through charity streaming. And, I'm always down to volunteer my time because I usually have more time than money.
Hashtag whole mood.
So like, getting in on a charity stream, I feel like I can, put my time towards a good cause, and I can get to meet some dope people and have fun, chaotic times in the name of doing something nice for the world.
I love that. April, are you
April?
muted?
What they all said. I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, that's all true. Those are all true facts about this. I don't know. I got into streaming because charity. I never meant to do this. I never played. I only got into TTRPGs because of a local charity event where I helped a friend out. So I kind of owe all of my TTRPG stuff to charity events, and I like doing them. I don't have a lot of money, and I like being able to do something to help if I can.
I think that's fantastic. I love the overlap between our answers with, in some way, shape, or form, we want to meet new folks. We want to also, at the same time, give back, and at the same time, utilize the strength that all of us have, where sure, finances may or may not be a thing, but we know 100% that we can deliver a fantastic game, whether we're a DM or a player. And that is, in effect, an amazing way to donate our time and our energy and all of that. So I think that's fantastic. But oftentimes in this space, and actually I just got this question a couple days ago. Someone was asking me, how do you decide when you're going to charity stream? I know many of us see that specific months, organizations will get highlighted. Some people do the events year round or, during a specific month. How do you decide whether you are, as a DM, a player, or an organizer, when you're going to do these charity streams? Because burnout is very much a factor, time and energy. But also just, exhaustion as well for the community. How do you decide upon that?
I'll go. I want to jump on this one. So when Slady started, we started in an in-person charity event for a local chapter of a charity in Atlanta. COVID hit, so we went online, and the only thing we decided to do was we were just going to do charity events, which got very hard to keep that momentum going, even just with two of us working full-time, having lives and trying to do all this, which is why we ended up with a weekly show, kind of just to keep the channel going and alive. But then we kind of just started marking certain occasions, anniversaries for the stream, anniversaries for certain shows, my birthday, Nikki's birthday, like events that mattered to us is when we turned into charity events. Because as much as I would love to do the monthly events, it takes about a month to plan, and it's a lot, especially when you have a full-time job.
For sure. Prince?
I would say I don't have the organizational chops to really put these sort of things together. That's the truth of the matter. And I'm okay with that, but I know a bunch of people who do, i.e. Jordan.
Yep.
And so for me, I don't mind stepping in, making up a game, doing something like that for one of these things, but I usually try to plan around where I know Jordan's gonna have a thing every few months, so I'm like, I will make myself available for this. And if I'm asked or if I see something about it, I will go to someone, I'll shoot a DM like, you need help with this, let me know. I can't organize it for you, but if you need someone to run a game, be in a game, be on a panel, I'm here. And these are my areas of expertise, and that's the way I do it, because I'm not gonna say I always say yes when everyone asks me for stuff, because sometimes I just don't have the energy. Yeah. But I usually try to make sure that I have some time for doing charities. Like, even if I don't organize them myself, I try to make sure that I can put in some time, at least every few months, to help out.
And if I can add that on, because I feel like Duval, you might be jumping in with this as well, just because I know specifically April, you do a lot of charity streams. I know Dimples and Duval, you do too. It is charity stream season is almost year round, but it picks up for certain months. How do you know when you are reaching that? Because it does happen for it, burnout for charity streams, whether that be running or playing in games, because it is exhausting because you are giving that time. How do you decide when you're going to push forward and you're feeling great, and how do you decide like when you're going to pull back a little bit?
Yeah, it's really tough because, especially lately, where it feels like there's, you know, something new for us to sort of get behind. And like lately, especially, like shout out to Robo Goblin, who you should follow on at TTRP Gifts because he's amazing and the best.
Mhm.
Has been like, Gondor is calling for aid, and then like we swoop up and we do the thing, and like I literally had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you have done a lot. You just wrapped a really, really, really cool thing. And all three of you have actually been like, okay, you're gonna take a break, right, Jacob? Right? And I'm like, no.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, right. Because we want to say yes to everything and
Mhm.
hang out with people and meet new friends and all that other stuff. And so, like, to be honest with you, it's something that I think we all struggle with.
Yeah.
But it's all about like in this example, I decided to not jump in the deep end of the pool because I was like, you're tired. And like I remember like last Saturday was the first time I have not done anything on stream in months.
Mhm.
And I was just like, what do I do? Oh man, I guess I could like play video games. Remember video games? And so yeah, that's kind of all that to say.
That's great,
I
and
think
thank you for sharing. Yes, April.
to add on to you, having people around you, we have all done it to each other. We have
Yes.
all been like, hey, you're doing great, but you need to breathe.
Yes.
And I think
We've all done it to each other.
having people around you that you can trust and understand, because I'm gonna be honest, when I hit that break, when I'm getting that close to point, I get kind of mean. So I know they have
No.
all heard me get a little snappy. So
No.
having people around you that you could trust is very important and is a huge help in that. And it will go a long way.
Mhm. I think from my standpoint, because I can see it as an organizational perspective as well as DM and playing. One thing that we do with my community, and I usually recommend this to anybody that's kind of doing a charity stream, is try not to do multiple days. It's exhausting. You will luck out sometimes and have an incredible team behind you that can help lift the load, but especially if this is your first time, try and just plan for a single stream, and then the next time see for a couple, see for a weekend, or I would say don't go beyond 3 to 4 days because it's a lot.
Oh man, yeah, wow.
It's just too much for even one person to handle. Is exhausting. One thing that our community does, the Haven Wolfpack, is we try to do these charity events every couple of months. So we'll do an event in February, we'll do an event in July, and then the last one's in November. That gives all of us, including me, time to recoup. It gives the community time to recoup as well, because even before the panini was a thing, it's a lot of energy. Whether you're doing a TTRPG weekend or you're doing a video game weekend, that also depends upon the planning that goes into it. That could be a couple of hours to, like the TTRPG weekend that I usually do. That takes a month or two for me to plan and to get everything in place, make sure safety tools are in place as well. So really you just, and of course there's the possibility of overlap between different organizations. That's going to happen because everybody is thankfully in a really giving mood and wants to signal boost the amazing organizations that are out there. But I
Or
think
blow your game up.
or blow your game up, yeah. But I think too, just going back to what April you were saying, communicating and kind of talking with your friends, because that's something fun that you can all work together of like, oh hey, so and so is doing this, let's help out. take a couple, a month or two break and then help out somebody else with something they want to do. And you can focus on one specific cause or multiple. So another question that I wanted to ask is, what got you all into charity streaming? Was there a specific cause or organization or even a game that kind of just brought you into it and was like, yeah, no, I want to be a charity streamer, like player and DM or video gamer?
Oh, I want to jump on that one.
Go for it.
Initially, selfishly, because I recognized. So this is a couple of years ago. This is actually the same weekend that I met Jordan, actually, where I was trying to figure out, like, how do I get into the online TTRPG space. There's not a book that you just that just tells you the steps. So I'm reaching out here and there, hopping into discords and stuff like that, and everyone's nice and stuff, but I'm not playing in any games. So I was like, well, why don't you sign up for this weekend long thingy? And I ended up playing in three, a game on Friday, a game on Saturday, and a game on Sunday. And I realized kind of by accident that I was like, oh yeah, these are people that are getting to know who I am, and oh man, this is actually pretty fun, and this person's cool. And that sort of spread my wings a little bit, and that's how I got invited into another community that was specifically about doing charity. That was the basis of the community, and so that's just spread into things. Fun fact that many people don't know is the Duval and Dragons cast is Jordan's fault, because she put us all in the charity game, and the chemistry was off the charts amazing. And then I got asked to run a game on So Many Games' channel, and I was like, I have the cast already. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's done. It's all these people. Who are they? Don't worry about it.
I think for me, I kind of just, I like to stay busy. I like to constantly be in motion. And so, charity stuff was happening everywhere with a bunch of different things. Because Lord knows we've been through a lot of shit in the last few years, and charity stuff was popping up to help various causes, organization, people who've been harmed, so on and so forth. And I'm like, I can help. I have time. Let's do this. And I was like, not only I'm watching charity streams, I'm donating where I can, I'm donating my time where I can. And I really just was like, once I started doing it, I was like, this feels good. And that it's a little selfish because but people want to feel like they're doing good. And I wanted to feel like I was doing good. So I put my time and money where my mouth was. And I was like, I'm gonna get out here and do stuff. Even if I'm stuck in the house during the Rona, that doesn't mean I can't still donate my time, because I'm the type of person who I will go to a soup kitchen. I will be out, handing out clothes to people and stuff like that. But when I can't do that, what else do I do?
Right.
And charity streaming was just an extension of that, I think.
I love that. April, was there a specific game that brought you into charity streaming, or?
It was, like I said, it was the Slady stuff. We'd planned an event in town in Atlanta to raise money for, I want to say Girls Who Code, but the Atlanta chapter. And then COVID literally hit a week before. So we had planned games, we had planned all this stuff, and Nikki and I were like, we can't waste this, and decided we'll do an online event, a full day. And that was a bad idea, but also a great idea. We knew nothing about this. She had some small, she had done another show, and we put something on, and we got very lucky. The Atlanta community really stepped up and helped us out. A lot of people that we were friends with hopped on, and it kind of just, we did a good job. And because of that, other people who are involved are like, oh, so since we were on yours, you're going to come on ours, right? Because everything was exploding. So we were all doing, I'm like, yeah, yes, I will. Cool. Okay. Should we put a show on just to keep the channel alive for our next event? Yeah. Okay. And then it just kind of spiraled.
No,
but I like it. It feels good. It's nice.
I relate with a lot of what each of you are saying. Dimples, I like to be busy too, so I totally feel that. Duval's nodding his head because he has yelled. I know, actually, all three of you have yelled at me to stop. So all
Yep.
three of you have yelled at me to stop in some way, shape, or form.
Just out here being hypocrites. No big deal.
Listen, I will call myself out on that. So listen, it's fine.
I'm over here telling Jordan, hey, slow down. To me, I have a stream every single day this week. Like,
yep. Samesies.
That life.
Sometimes multiple times in a day. And it's just like, but I'm telling someone else to slow down. Just,
Yeah.
I'll listen to the secret later. Put a fake thing on your calendar. You'll forget it's fake.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I definitely relate with that. I was very much into the whole, not necessarily charity streaming, because I've been in the streaming space now for about 5 or 6 years, but even before that, I was giving it kind of similar to what Dimples was saying. I was the one volunteering to go to the soup kitchen. I was the one volunteering my time to go do a thing to help out. So charity streaming in itself allowed for that outlet to continue. Similar to Duval, kind of stumbled upon a community that was their whole basis was charity streams a couple times a year. And while that community shut down, when I started building my own space, I was like, I still want this at the forefront. Like, I want this to be a focus for not only me, because I realize, there is a little bit of privilege with that, and what I can do with the little privilege that I do have to signal boost, causes such as we've been focusing on Color of Change and have raised over $16K for that, which is amazing. It's an amazing goal. But it took a lot of work, and everyone in this call, including our amazing producer, has been a part of that too. So, it's doesn't have to follow just one person to do everything. And this is coming from the person that is typically doing everything, and that's fine. So I'm calling myself out here. It's great.
Yeah.
Can you clip on YouTube? I just want to clip that. And
I heard you can actually. Yeah.
I'm going to send it to Jordan once a week.
Yeah, actually,
just once a week, I'm going to send it to you.
It's fine.
Out of love.
It's fine.
Yeah. Every Tuesday. Just
Every
like
Tuesday.
One common thread, though, that was kind of spoken about with this kind of question, as well as our previous question, though, is time and preparation. So all of us here have done charity streams, but are also part of, in one shape or form, a long-term campaign, specifically with TTRPGs that I'm focusing in on right now. So what are the differences in prepping for a charity streamed one-shot versus a long-term campaign? Does this differ with players you may know versus a table that you don't know?
Don't plan shit.
I would go ahead and
don't plan shit.
Echo that. Like, honestly, when I do charity streaming, it's not like, the thing is, I don't want people to think that I just don't care.
Sure.
Because, like, when I say I don't plan, that doesn't mean I don't care. It just means that oftentimes I think many of us at this table, and probably many of you who are watching, overthink shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You'll overthink shit, and you'll plan for way too much for things that will absolutely never happen at your table.
Correct.
And so you'll go into a charity stream, you have all these ideas and all these story beats and things you planned, and you might get to one of them. Maybe one of them.
maybe.
Maybe one of them. And the rest of it is just shit that got made up the rest of the time. So don't overplan.
It will make you such a better game master too, because you learn when it's time for you to throw away everything.
Yes,
and just
absolutely.
And let whether it's your players take the reins, or a donation just blew up your game in the first 40 minutes. Like, I literally had a game about a year ago that had 5 Deck of Many Things pulls banked, and we hadn't even gone live yet.
Yep. I remember that.
And so I was like, what the? And then, of course, Don John got pulled, and I was like, character introduction, and he's gone. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And I ended up tying it into, like, this pit fiend that's in the world, and we were able to figure out a way to make it happen. And it was super fun and engaging because it was ridiculous, and the person that donated it, loved it, and stuff like that. So just kind of like, because I think sometimes you think when you run a game that you have to be the one like putting the pedal to the floor, and like sometimes the best moments, this is what charity streams are not, sometimes the best moments happen when you just let players play.
Yep, I agree.
Kind of to echo all that, I am an over planner. I like to over plan. It's weird though, when it comes to charity games, I just kind of just bullet point it. I put like 5 things, beginning, middle, end. These are the things that, and then I have like 6 tabs open of just random monsters. Just random monsters that could appear. Because I am a big fan of wild magic, and
me too.
Been known to be like, you know what? $5 wild magic table, because I just don't want.
Let's see what happens.
I just want to have fun.
Pots and plotted plan. Let's go.
And when you get things like that, it's fun because then you just ask the player, so what do you do with that? Like, what's going on now in your life that this has happened? And I think it's more fun for the audience in a game like that, in a one shot. I think one shots are fun. They're not serious. I'm gonna be that person to say this. I don't really count the dice. Like, if you're like 5 away from killing it, but you just did something really, really cool, you just killed it, because that's so much cooler. This is a one shot.
Yeah.
Right.
It's for fun and charity, and that's what my only goal is, for people to have fun in a one shot. Especially in charity games. That's
Can I add one more thing?
Absolutely not. Yes.
No.
Go for it.
Moist. No.
Nick,
no,
ban
seriously.
him from the call. Ban him from the call right now.
Run a one-pager. Honestly, if you are worried about planning or something like that, run a one-pager. I swear to you, those games where you have to do almost zero prep can be some of the most absolute fun and chaotic things that you can do, and it will take so much stress off of you, especially if you're an over planner. It will take so much stress off.
New players, weirdly, one shots, one pagers with not a lot of rules, not a lot of character creation, goes really quick and really smooth, and it's great for new players and new tables to kind of,
for sure,
to just mesh. Yeah,
I think and I also very similar. I used to, Duval knows this too, I used to over prep big time, but I would just end up throwing stuff out the window. Literally, I've had donations before that, because of what happened, it completely rewrote the one shot. Like, initially they were just going to investigate some disappearances that happened, and then someone donated for a scarecrow to give a hug to one of the player characters, and the player character was like, no. And then chat loved that so much they decided to make the scarecrow the big bad, and that just literally, I remember shredding up what I originally wrote, and we just went with it. I do bullet points now. The other thing I do too is goes back to almost that one page adventure of, I've made all of my one shots one page. So there is literally a step-by-step guide of adventures are starting here. They choose to go this way, or this way. Okay, what's happening? Boom. This donation comes in, we go here. This donation happens, we go here. And if you are one of those people that you may not be as confident in terms of that, that's a great thing. For me, I don't have to rely on it so much because I can just kind of wing it and go with it, similar to what April and Duval and Dimples have said. But if you are one of those people that you're getting more comfortable as a DM to do that, I highly recommend doing it. Just doing a roadmap. Don't hold yourself completely to that, but just use it as a guideline, right? With a lot of these tabletop games, regardless of if it's a charity one shot or it's a campaign, a lot of these times these rules are guidelines, and it's your interpretation of those rules, whether you're a DM or a player. I see Dimple smiling about that. So,
I'm just saying rules.
I want to
so funny.
Or let rule of fool overlap something so many times 100%. In anything.
Never. Rules, never heard of her.
Also, we keep saying donations. Your players are going to be their most chaotic selves 90% of times in one shots.
It's a one shot. Yeah.
Me personally, I do the dumbest things in one shot just because I'm like, how can I make this so over the top obnoxious
Yep.
that's it's
Mhm.
possible, because that is the chance you get to do that. When is someone going to hand you an instant fortune to say have fun?
Yeah.
I would like to throw it at that ancient dragon over there.
And
Thank you.
and
Yes, I would like
will
to drop
say
it on Santa.
too, to kind of add to the second part of the question
Okay.
of prepping for players that I know versus not,
Mhm.
I prep very differently. Just because
That is also true.
and it's very subtle. It's still very similar in a lot of ways, but I will try to throw some Easter eggs that perhaps I know that they really liked, or might be a really hilarious moment, like, with an ode to things, Dimples may or may not run into a clown. It'll be great.
No said.
Might have to deal with that. I might have to hear Dimple saying moist for like an hour, So
Moist.
I
Just like
hear-
that.
So I do, but again, that goes with safety tools, that goes with session zeros and establishing that with that group. That is very much, and that's what I mean by I prepare it differently. For somebody that's new, I'm probably not going to do that, especially if I see that, oh yeah, no, it's on their safety tools. They don't okay, no, clowns will not be in this in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
So that's how I would prepare differently. Yes, April.
I should also preface 90% of the charity games I have run, I have picked my own cast.
Mhm.
I have been lucky to be able to do that. Some charity games, you do not get that.
Mhm.
And that has definitely influenced how I run them.
Certainly.
Because I get to say I want to only play with people I know. I get that the ability to kind of do whatever and not plan as much because I know my people.
For sure.
But you might not always get that. So just like
And-
enforcing what
and
Jordan said.
that's
The
something
table
you
is very
can-
important.
For sure. And that's something you can always reach out to the organizers too, especially
Mhm.
if there's a conflict at the table with two players. Like
Certainly.
speaking that up. For me as an organizer, I always ask those questions, but I'm always looking for a balance because as much as I love chaos, if you have complete chaos at the table, doesn't matter what level of GM you have, it's going to be too chaotic and things are going to get away. You're over time. Things are going to get lost and people may feel stepped on because you only have a certain amount of time to get in and out in terms of story. So I always try to balance the groups. And not to toot my own horn, I think I do a pretty good job of finding a balance.
You do.
I remind you.
Really
every
good
time.
job.
Really good.
I will say that I'll be the oddball on this one. I don't really prep any differently for
I don't
players
either.
that I know. And
Yeah, I
the
don't
thing is, I don't really prep, so that's really most
So
of the
that's why,
thing.
yeah.
And the really it is, if there's players that I know at the table, I'm going to improv more things that I know they'll get.
Mhm.
If there's players that I don't know at the table, I am going to try to engage them quickly.
Yeah.
Try to get to know them as best I can before we get into the game and do things that will bring them in. I have a good feeling on reading people and getting their vibes pretty quick. So I try to bring that to the game. And if it's a quiet player, I'm going to try to play to whatever is on their character sheet or something like that, the strengths of that. So I'll play to the strengths of your character so that I know I'm pulling you into the game to give you opportunities to shine. Even if because, if you have, let's say, if I have 3 of you at the table and somebody we've never met, y'all are going to vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But that other person might not instantly. So you'll have to do a little bit more as a GM to bring them into it.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that y'all wouldn't. That's not what I'm saying.
He's
but
totally
like
saying that.
that's
He's
part
totally
of my
saying that.
job is to
Yeah,
do that
he's
if I'm
just
running
saying I'm a
the
bad
game.
DM. I get it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Dimples.
I will add on a small tip to this is, especially if it's a table that your majority of them you don't know, send them a game of yours if you stream. Like,
Yeah.
Like this is my style. Like this is, or a clip of you or something like that. Like this is how I do things, and then that'll allow that connection to sort of build before you get into a Zoom call. Because I mean, sometimes it's a little weird. Like I'm fortunate enough to not be nervous or embarrassed. I'm ridiculous. I'm aware of it. I'm loud, black AF, and ridiculous. It's just what it is. So I want you to know that ahead of time. If that's weird for you, cool. There are other tables.
For sure. And thank you for that. I do see we are starting to get close on time.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. So Yes, April. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
No, I was
or-
excited for rapid fire.
Okay,
I was like,
cool.
yeah. I was
You were
like,
like,
I was like, pew pew pew, rabbit. I
Yosemite
just figured,
Sam.
guys, I just
April
ignored-
pulled out the ray gun.
I know.
Oh my God. What the shit?
Goodbye,
Okay.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Oh, that was great.
Amazing.
Don't hate.
That was incredible.
Don't
That
be
was-
haters.
That was beautiful.
We're all friends here. It's fine.
We are all friends.
We're all friends.
So, what advice would you give to those that are just starting in the charity stream space, or for those looking to revamp their style?
If you're just starting, I would say start small. It sounds like don't try to overdo it. I believe in you. You could do it. You could start big, but it's not worth it to your mental state.
Yeah.
Start small, get prepared, and I think that's the best thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that it's similar to that, but keep your expectations in check.
Yeah.
Because I think that I think it would be very easy to be like, well, I only brought in $100 and being like down on yourself because you've been in a stream that's brought in like 30K in a weekend or some shit, and like, who cares? You brought in $100 for something that, you know, people felt was important enough for them to donate to. You did the thing that you set out to do. You raised money for charity. Celebrate that, but don't get down on yourself because you don't go out there and you hit the ball out into fucking grand slam the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It might not happen that way. It might not happen that way the second time or the third time, but go out there with the expectation that you are doing your best to make something happen for a cause that you feel is important enough to you to do this. And that is good enough.
Mm-hmm. Duval, do you have anything?
Nothing to add. That's
Okay.
great. But and I'm also like we're rapid firing, so I'm just like pew, pew.
Valid. I completely agree with Simples. I think
Mhm.
too,
Well,
again,
thanks.
just reminding yourself that it's not a competition. And you shouldn't try to be like anybody else in this space either. Each of us DM a different play a different way, specialize in a different TTRPG system. And that's great and amazing. And just try to be yourself and enjoy it. Have fun. You know, a dollar more raised for a charity stream is $1 more than they had before. So that's something that I do see pop up in the charity space of, oh well, my one shot wasn't that successful compared to so and so. And it's like, you raised money and
Give
you
me
had
a
fun,
hug.
right?
You did great.
You had fun, right? Then you're
Yeah.
winning. Like it's not a
won.
competition, and it should never be that way.
Mhm.
We are not competing against each other. We
No.
all want to work together.
We all want
Even
to
if we have a charity stream at the same time, I am still 100% behind
Yep.
them.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
rate into yours. Like
I'm
it's
gonna
like
rein
it's
in.
not hard.
I'm gonna
like,
signal boost. I always
Right.
say like, hey, just open another tab, because even
Mhm.
if you're lurking in their stream or you're
Lurkers count.
retweeting,
Mhm.
that still goes a long way. All right, so we're approaching the final question, and as we answer this final question, I would love for all of you to also then plug yourself, the amazing things you're doing, where we can find you, etc. But what was your favorite charity game memory that you have been a part of, either as a player, a DM, or a viewer?
I'll go first
Go for it, Duval.
because it's clipped, and I'm gonna drop it in the YouTube chat.
Ooh.
For those of you that failed, suffered 91 points of fire damage. This is great because everyone in this panel was in that game. It is my Facebook cover photo.
You
And
motherfucker.
I wish I had a mimosa right now.
I just love the still because you see everybody panicking in
Just-
one way,
it's-
shape, or form.
Was
So
this
Duval,
whole
why don't-
panel just for you to get us with that? Like this?
It was just a setup. It was all just a setup.
Hey, I'm Duval's little sister.
Yeah,
We
it's
worked.
It worked. Yeah.
So
we
why
did
don't you
it.
give quick context to what's
Yeah,
happening?
certainly.
Duval?
So this is a good example of what Nipples is talking about not doing anything. So they were level 15 something, one shot. They're all hired to do a heist. Essentially the Horn of Orcus. It's pretty wild. We did none of that because an ancient red dragon showed up via donation. and because one of my summons is you can summon Matthew, who is my ancient red dragon, and he has been in, I think, 11 or 12 different charity games with 5 different DMs. So it's pretty wild. As you probably know, ancient red dragons have really fun breath weapons, don't they, everyone?
They do.
But as Prince reminded me, I'm on his back. I'm good.
Amazing. And Duval, where can we find and support all the amazing you're
Hi,
doing?
yeah, me stuff. I do the things on the internet. My home on the internet is the Amphitheater channel that I co-founded, twitch.tv/the Amphitheater. We just wrapped Eulalia 5e, a Redwall story. We have a new campaign that is in the works right now. I'm very, very excited about that. Wednesdays, of course, Duval's Gaming Journey, where I play video games of my childhood. Bi-weekly Thursday, Blood In, Blood Out, our Blaze of the Dark campaign. Opposite week, I'm over on Waffles with Syrup, and Outcast and Outclass, our Pathfinder 2e Strength of the Thousands campaign, which is incredible. Then Dragonlance, Dragons of Rebirth on the opposite Sunday of Duval and Dragons, both of those on So Many Games Twitch channel. One of those I'm a player, one of them I'm DMing, and a bunch of other ridiculous stuff. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Duval King Jacob. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you, Duval. Dimples, April, who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I have a lot of good memories. That one was not one of my good memories.
That's great.
The call out.
That was not one of my good. That game was amazing.
Thank you. Your face I'm looking at, that's frozen right now. So
my face says it all. I have been lucky to be part of some really good ones. I can't pick one. I'm gonna give a bunch of stupid ones. We did a bears all bears one shot, and said over 100 bear puns in less than 3 hours, to the point that the producer changed the overlay midway through the game to put a pun counter. Things like that
smart.
are why I do charity games, but also for things like today, where I was like, if someone donates this much, I'll haste the monk, and I had a monk in one round. A single run round, take out Vecna with no help.
Wow.
Love that.
One
Holy
round
shit.
Vecna. And that's gonna be forever, I think, a moment. But me, I am April. You could find me everywhere as April Raygun. I do a lot of stuff and things. I was also on Redwall. Eulalia. It was on Tuesdays. You could now find it on YouTube. Go watch that, because also Prince was in it.
Yeah.
I don't know which way you are. What else do I do? Starting Mondays. That's a new one. Heaven and Hedonism, a Regency era vampire the Masquerade game premieres on Monday. It's a 3-part miniseries. It's a lot. You should watch it. A lot happened. I can't wait for the ending to come out so I can talk about it. I don't remember what else do I do Monday.
Fables.
Tuesday. Tuesday, I have Dread Tales. I'm on that again. Saturdays, Ampistrano with the D. I was gonna do that one last because it's Saturday. I was gonna be like, and the D&D Jonah Lee, but I'll just do that one. I have with the D&D Jonah Lee at Ampistrano, where I play a monk and fairy, and the Chthonic kids are about to come back with some good society. We got some cool things with Fables coming out. My art got released.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It was amazing. I love my art. Hire Lynn.
Yes.
After us.
Also,
After us, yeah.
I've just been telling people this. North by Northwest, the new season will be coming out, and the Dimples and Dice is our DM. We're playing Scum and Villainy Dark Matter. It's a sexy space heist that goes horribly wrong, where I play an amoeboid and I go blurb blurb a lot. So check that out. That's gonna be fun.
I love it.
I think that's it. I think
Amazing.
that's a lot. That's enough. I'm so
Amazing. I
sorry.
love you so much, April.
So
Never
much.
change.
So
Ever. Dimples.
What was the question again? No, April messed me up.
Um,
No, I remember.
There you go. I was ready.
Favorite
to go.
moments. I have to say, I was playing in a charity one shot, and someone on that stream decided they were going to transform into various animals.
That's number 2.
One Robo Goblin
Yep.
turned into a dolphin in the middle of the stream and broke
Oh my God,
everyone.
yes.
Have that clip ready as well.
It was. We died. I like the cast
Literally
literally
everyone
left the table in the middle of the game.
I was like, I can't leave. I'm the DM.
It was absolutely absurd. It was one of my favorite moments. But I mean, I've been in some wild shit. I mean, I've had people falling off of chains trying to climb onto boats. And they're supposed to be dangerous vampires. I mean, like,
I remember that. I lost
all
Snarf
kinds
in
of
that
stuff. So it's charity one shots are some of the most chaotic and most fun things because the consequences are generally just limited to that game. So people go buck wild, and it makes it for so much fun things that can happen. So, I think. Making everyone run from the table though, that's a moment that I'll never forget.
And where can you find and support all the amazing things you're doing?
Yeah, so again, Prince, also known as Dimples of Dice. You can find me on Twitch at Dimples of Dice, Twitter, and Instagram, all that jazz. Basically everywhere except Facebook. I do stuff. I am on a Vampire the Masquerade stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time over on my own channel. Not on my channel, or my sister station, Rolling D's 20s. That is twitch.tv/Rolling D's, like you would say D's nuts, but D's 20s. We are in our 5th and final season of Philly by Night. So do come watch and see what happens to this coterie on their way out and whatever happens next. You can also catch me on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern time for Wayward Revelry. It is a D&D 5e campaign based in Wild Beyond the Witchlight with my own sort of horror shenanigans twist. As April said, we're going to have North by Northwest, Scum and Villainy / Dark Matter, the Dark Corners of the Universe starting sometime in the near future. So do keep a lookout on socials for that. And I'm also over on Waffles Maple Syrup every other Friday night. So not this Friday, but the next Friday after that. We'll be back with our next episode of Siren's Call. There is other stuff, as April said, Fables, there's Good Society. I'll be on Gehenna Gaming for Aliens game here this Sunday. So I'll be busy. Look at my Twitter. You'll see stuff that's coming up for me.
Amazing.
Cradle of Cain. That's on Uberlord's channel. Hunter the Reckoning. I'm on stuff,
Hunter.
Y'all. I'm on so much stuff I
good at
can't
Hunter.
remember.
You're so
Everyone.
Hunter's Wednesday
So
nights
busy.
at 8.
You know what? Honestly, you could spend every night with Prince.
Yes.
Is what
Yeah.
we're trying to tell
You
you.
can.
Spend
And that's
every
great.
night of your week with
All
Prince.
He's here.
Thanks.
He's there. He's every fucking where. Roy Prince. Roy Prince.
I did that clipped, and that needs to be a new alert on your channel.
Yeah, it does.
Amazing.
24
I have to
buttons,
agree. One of my favorite moments was definitely seeing Robo turn into Robo Dolphin. I was writing production
Oh
on
my
that.
God,
That was an
dying.
amazing moment. But to put another one, our very own Philadelphia did a one shot where Prince and I had to deal with a Kool-Aid man at one point.
In
Oh
front
my
of how many
God.
people?
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah!
Oh, yeah.
kind of coming in.
In front of what? 4,000
Oh.
fucking people?
That
yeah.
is,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. That was 19,000 people.
19,000 people. Yep.
Yeah, 19,000
Got to
people,
see
which is
Bill.
amazing.
That's why I have this background.
Yeah,
That's literally why I have this.
Amazing.
Amazing. I am D&D Jordan
Salem.
Lee. I am a Twitch variety streamer. Actually, lies. I play Dead by Daylight. So come and see me on my channel. I am usually poking around the Gehenna Gaming chat, as well as all of these amazing people's chats. I am also the dungeon master / storyteller for Ampistrano D&D, which is a homebrew campaign that airs on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's a charity stream that's happening in 2 weeks. So pay attention to Twitter for show announcements, cast announcements, all that. We're gonna
some
get
familiar
out of
faces.
here. Look at this, Nick, right? Professional.
Fucking
A
look at
very
us.
special
Look at
thankful
us.
thank you to our Oracle behind the scenes that again is making
Love
us
a
just
Nick.
look so fabulous. Is an amazing individual, and you should hire him and include him on games as well as everyone on this panel. But a special thank you to Nick. Thank you to Gehenna Gaming, amazing virtual horror con, and we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.
Bye.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dig it. Slam it to a Slim Jim.